dear. Now we have a lot of rain. Everyone is slowing down. Okay, time for another road trip. Welcome back to E-Wheeler Finland after a long break. It's actually a pretty cold morning. Well, not cold, but it's like 18 degrees. The forecast is rain throughout the whole trip. But nevertheless, we will be doing this, so bear with us. Okay, so like I said, the weather is not so promising, but hopefully there's not that much rolling resistance from the water. So if there's only light rain, I don't think it matters that much. But the forecast for, you will see it here, it's like throughout the whole route it's like water and lightning and whatever. And like I explained in Twitter already, my wife is the driver. The main reason for that is my shoulder operation, because at the end of May my left shoulder was operated, and it's going to take a long time for me to actually do anything good with it. So at the moment I can just barely use it for daily chores. So I don't want to take any chances with that, the healing process. So yeah, it's much easier if someone else is driving. And this is a known route already to us, so I don't actually even know where we are going to charge the first time, because we are going to be able to drive pretty far. So it's going to be a little bit easier for the car and for us than in the winter. But yeah, let's see what happens. And the car is fully charged now. It actually didn't go down even during the night at all. It's still 100%, so that's good. And at the moment, the COM is saying 296 kilometers, which will drop down. But from my experience in this kind of weather, we will easily see 250, 260 kilometers with the full battery. So even with part of the way is 100 and more, it will not be dropping that fast. So yeah, let's see what kind of trip this is. We are on the way. It's actually quite green now, because we had a long stretch of drought here in Finland, like almost a month without any significant rain, and all the trees they look like burned for a long time. And then we had some showers, 2 nights of showers here, and now it's not like green, but it looks a little bit better now. Forgot to mention also, so we are like always, or most of the time that we are driving, the climate control is in auto, 22 degrees. So no eco modes, no nothing. So we are driving in the normal comfort mode, and it doesn't actually seem to bother much the car's consumption. It's like when the weather is like this, so no heating or climate control is actually needed, then the Eco Plus, they only really influence the performance of the car. It doesn't really give you more distance as such. So yeah, there's no reason to use them. And like we said already on the previous videos, we try to drive this car like a normal car without any hocus pocus things. It's like if driving an EV is not as easy as driving a petrol or diesel car, it's not really like a substitute for a normal ICE car. I never want to become like the kind of person that tries to stretch the distance by doing something magical to the car or using special tricks. At the moment we are past the 11,000 kilometer mark already with our car, which is not a lot in a year with a car, but we don't actually need the car that much these days because we mostly walk to the shops and I walk to the work, so it's like the car is only used with the necessary transportation, and if we go on a holiday trip or something, there's very little use for us for the car. That is nice, new tarmac. Wow, it's always nice to drive on a new piece of road, freshly laid tarmac, because it's so quiet compared to the old worn out stuff. I think this is just about as clear as weather as we are going to see today. So the road is still dry, but like I said, all the forecast for all of this trip, the whole day, it's like rain and thunder, so it remains to be seen what kind of weather we actually get. At the moment it's still dry. More new tarmac, so nice. This is super nice to drive always, there's no bumps, nothing, so quiet. And very little traffic, but it is early morning, so there is still time. Still no rain, and hopefully it stays like this, but the forecast was so rainy that I don't trust it. I have a feeling that we will get plenty of water at some point in this trip, but so far so good. And the weather is really nice. Outside is 19.5 degrees at the moment, and that's good because we don't need any heating, we don't need the air conditioning, so we are using very little energy. Nice. Let's see how far we go before we stop the first time. Okay, we will be making our first stop in Jari-Pekka, Hartola. They have a fast charger there. We have 109 kilometers at the moment in Gom. But because this is a fast road, it's 100 kilometers an hour, so we are draining kilometers faster than what we have left. So we won't be making it all the way to Jyväskylä on one charge. We will be stopping in Hartola and have a small tea and coffee break and a little bit of extra power so we can reach Jyväskylä. And in Jyväskylä we will have a longer break and then have something to eat. So far the road has been dry, no problem whatsoever. So it looks like the forecast was a little bit pessimistic. It is cloudy, but nice and warm, and there's no rain at the moment at least. So yeah, looking good so far. Let's just hope that we have a free charger in Jari-Pekka. There's a Tesla also. Lots of other electric cars we have seen already on this trip. Star Bridge, Tähtisilta Heinola. Lots of fresh water in Finland. Lots of bridges. Okay, we arrived in Jari-Pekka Hartola and we were lucky. Both of the charging points here at the fast charger are free. So we will have a small break here, some coffee and maybe go for a pee, and then we will continue to Jyväskylä. And we are charging. We are already at 37%. Like I said, we don't really need a lot of power here, but we need a little bit just to get to Jyväskylä, so we will have a break here. Okay, we are done with our first charging break and pee and coffee break. Our break was maybe a little bit too long already because we were here 28 minutes. The only downside is that the charging speed was really slow, but we were at 37% when we came here, and I don't think that we get that much more charging speed at that percentage. But anyway, we got about 25 kilowatts of charging power, and when we arrived we are 37%. When we stopped 28 minutes later it was 73%, the battery, and the first leg, meaning the drive from home to here, was 156 kilometers I think, and average consumption 11.5 kilowatt hours, so 115 watt hour per kilometer. So very low consumption. I'm really happy. So now we continue to Jyväskylä. Hopefully there's still no rain. And then in Jyväskylä we will have a longer break and we will have something good to eat before continuing our trip. The weather is still pretty nice. A little bit of rain, but at the moment there's no water, so the street is a little bit wet, but that's okay. The weather is still pretty good, I'm happy. And there's not that much traffic. But I think that is the reason is because this is Thursday and in the middle of the day it's like not even noon yet, so yeah. I think we made a wise decision to go at this time of day. Most of our trip we can drive without traffic. Oh dear, now we have a lot of rain. Everyone is slowing down. Lots of water on the road, but I just hope that this doesn't take too much energy from the battery. We are still a little bit further from Jyväskylä, so I think the rest of the way it's going to be like this. Looks pretty rainy. Okay, we are here at Prisma Seppälä in Jyväskylä. There's 18 charging stations here. These are all free as well as the parking. So we are going to charge here, slow charge the car. We still have about 1/3 battery left, but that's okay. We will eat here, so we have plenty of time. There's no rush. And let's see, the distance from our previous charging place is 87 kilometers, and average consumption was a little bit higher, but I think that was because of the water. Yeah, travel time 1 hour 15 minutes. Quite a few free stalls here. A little bit of road construction and there's a lot of rain again. Let's see what the day brings. We are almost at Jämsä, so not halfway still to Tampere, but maybe 1/3 of the way. And I think that we have enough charge in the battery to make the whole way without charging. So Tampere should be the last place where we need to charge. And that would mean that we have reduced the number of charging sessions compared to winter by less than half. So in the winter I think we charge like something like 6 or 7 times at least during our trip, and now basically we could have made it with 2 charging sessions, but just to be on the safe side it looks like we need 3. So yeah, but much less than in the winter. The range is roughly double compared to the winter range. Okay, we decided to stop in Orivesi for the simple reason that according to our GOM and our Google Maps we only had like 9 kilometers left, so it's too close. Okay, average consumption since we left Jyväskylä is 13.8, so 138 watt-hour per kilometer, which is quite high, but that is in heavy rain. There was a lot of water on the road all the time, and we had to overtake like 4 slow-moving tractors, and overtaking is always really power consuming when you have to drive really slowly and then gain a back momentum for 100 kilometers an hour. It's like really draining the battery when you do that. And almost the whole distance from Jyväskylä to Orivesi was 100 kilometers an hour, so that also has an effect. But the overall efficiency still for the whole trip since Hyvinkää is 12.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, so 125 watt-hour per kilometer for the whole trip so far. That is super low because almost actually more than half of the way we have been doing more than 100 kilometers an hour, so 100 or 120. So yeah, it's really small. ABC Orivesi. The tritium refill actually took 3 tries this time to get it working. I don't know why. 3 separate tries before we actually got it to charge. So yeah, but in the end it still started working, so everything is fine. We are at 30% now, 31. We need to have almost full battery, so like 85% I think, before we leave here. So we will be spending a little bit of time here. Okay, we have been sitting here for 20 minutes. We have almost 11, it's past 11 kilowatts already in the display. So we are getting almost 33 kilowatts. So tritium for the win for this trip. Gives us the best power. Of course that has to do with the heating of the battery. So I think after driving this far, the battery has slowly reached the optimum temperature for charging. so we get maximum power, close to maximum power. Of course, this car never sees 40 kilowatts as given in the owner's manual, but I haven't seen more than 34 kilowatts ever, and 33 is so close already to the max that I've seen. At the moment we are at 59% and we need, I think, 85 to make it back to home, so we don't have to charge on the way anymore. Let's see if we will charge here all the way to there, or we will still make one quick stop somewhere, but yeah, looking good. Okay, when we left Orivesi ABC, we had roughly 81% the state of charge, which gives us at the moment roughly 175 kilometers of range. I don't think that that will be enough for us to go all the way home, but we'll see. I will reevaluate after a while, so you can only tell after driving a while. Okay, we are in Lempäälä, or we just passed Lempäälä. Our COM says 164 kilometers still left in the battery, and we have 101 kilometers, I think, still to Hyvinkää. So yeah, I think we will actually make it without charging anymore. So this looks really good. Basically 3 charging sessions. In Jyväskylä we just divided it in 2 pieces because we were in 2 different locations, but basically 3 charging sessions is enough for our car to cover the, I think it's roughly 550 kilometers today, because we got lost in Lahti, so it added a little bit of kilometers. But anyway, the weather got a lot better. Like you see, there's no rain, there's a dry road. I don't think it's actually been even raining here today in this part of Finland, so yeah, really nice weather. Sky is almost blue, so nice. So we have roughly 1.5 hours of travel time left, and it's now 5:10 p.m. So long day, but still significantly shorter than it was in the winter. So yeah, let's see you when we are in Hyvinkää. Okay, we are back home, finally. Like I expected, it's much shorter time that we needed compared to the winter test. So total driving time, meaning we were on the road, 8 hours, and total distance 520 kilometers. We still had 72 kilometers left on the COM when we came home. That's mostly because of the tailwind. So from Tampere to Hämeenlinna, the whole way we basically had tailwind helping us. And also you can see that on the energy consumption, which was much lower on the last leg than whole day before that. We had average 109 watt-hour per kilometer for the last 150 kilometers, which is really low, because some of the way was 100 kilometers an hour, so yeah, super low. And then total consumption for the whole trip, 520 kilometers, is exactly 120 watt-hour per kilometer, which is also super low. I don't know the total cost of the trip yet, but you can see here, I will put here on the video the final score on an Excel sheet, so you can actually see how much we paid for the electricity and how much we charged. I do know that I don't know the exact amount, because in Jyväskylä we managed to charge a lot of our electricity in the shopping mall that was free. And it's like really bad thing, because the problem is that the Skoda Connect app didn't work today. It worked in the morning, but at some point during the journey we couldn't connect with the car anymore, so I couldn't check from the car the percentage of the battery. And that's a big problem, because for instance, when we were charging in Jyväskylä in the free charger at the mall, you can't see anywhere in the car, anywhere the percentage. You can only see the kilometers that we're adding in the display. So yeah, it's a little bit sad, but we know roughly how much we got there. Not the exact amount, but we know roughly. So you already saw here the results. But anyway, really nice day, really nice result. Total time we needed for the trip today was 11.5 hours, which is still low when you consider that we spent almost 45 minutes in the mall in Jyväskylä. That was like extra time that we didn't even need. So we could have done the trip in, let's say, 45 minutes less time. So like 10 hours, 10 hours, 45 minutes roughly. Less than 11 hours, we could have done the whole trip without any problem. So yeah, super nice. Big difference to the winter test, because that was more than 14 hours, the winter test, and so slow the charging and everything. Big difference, really big. But anyway, that's everything for today. I hope you got some info out of this again, and please follow us on Twitter also, and I'll see you guys on the next video.